This video, we will decipher the meaning of Jal Tatv Sutra, which reads as artha-dātā, turaṅgarūpa, indriya-taraṅga-bhā, vṛtti, bhūcaram, kālasārthi, kālabhāva, jñāti, sa jal-tattvam. Let us understand the root meaning or intuition of Jal Tattva, which is also known as water element. Jal Tattva is the movement of the earth element. It represents movement of the subtle and gross earth element. Artha-dātā means giver of meaning. When we look at the bird or the ocean, there is an extraordinary feeling of perception, feeling of seeing, feeling of senses. This is the meaning part of the mind, which is direct perception of the sense objects and subjects. On the contrary, comes the verbal chattering about the sense objects or the words from the memory. The words from the memory are earth element and destroyer of the water element. Let's understand the meaning of turaṅgarūpa. This is one of the names of Jal Tattva. The word the world is made of waveforms that are perceived by the senses. Each of our sense is like an antenna that receives vibration. This is also known as the feeling part of the mind. Feeling is that which exists in the present moment and can exist without memory part of mind. Let's understand the meaning of indriya-taraṅga-bhā, which means feeling of the senses. Indriya means senses, tarang means the waveform, and the bhav means feeling. Therefore, it means feeling of the senses. As we discussed, senses are like the antenna that receives vibration. The vibrations implies two things here. One, which is movement, that it's made of movement. Second, senses are feeling perceived in the present moment. That is the reason why meditation begins with getting aware of the senses. Without using the label or dissecting the sense objects, in the image we can see that this being is aware of the sense subjects and objects without naming it. That's called indriya-taraṅga-bhā. Let's understand the meaning of vṛtti, which is which means modifications or deformation of the mind. Memory modifies the mind or senses by its words and forms that are stored up. This modification is also moving in the present moment, one memory after the other. In the image, we can assume that a sphere is the mind and the waves of the words, symbols, and forms are the modifications done on it. This middle part is also called the chitta, Shuddha chitta, meaning pure form of mind. And the deformation is done by the bhūtkala, which means the past. And this is called vṛtti. Let's understand the meaning of bhūcaram. This is one of the name of Jal Tattva. Bhūcaram means movement of the earth element. This is the core principle of water element. All forms of water element are movement of the earth element. That means water element is nothing but movement of earth element, or we can create water by moving the earth element, either at the subtle or gross level. In the image, we can see that a wave of water is made of movement of tiny, tiny water molecules. Water molecules are earth element, and water is the movement of these molecules. Similarly, in the mind, water element is the movement of the senses and memory. Let's understand the meaning of Kal-sarthi, which is one of the names of Jal Tatva. It means chariot of the time. Let's understand what time is. Time is the movement of the thoughts or the words. As we see, bhūcara is jal element or jal tattva. Time is the movement of the thoughts which are made of water, sorry, earth element. There is no time if there is no thought. Chariot of the time here means that which is the observer of the time, meaning perception of the time or movement is also water element. It also means the feeling of the time or the observer of the time. Then comes kālabhāva, which means feeling of time. This is closely related to Kal-sarthi. Observer, there's observed, and there's feeling of observation. These three are same when the mind is perceived as the movement of the earth or subtle waveforms or words. Let's dig deeper into what is time again. Time lives in the imagination. Either we imagine about the future or the past. Past comes from recalling the stored up moments in memory, and future is the projection of past. We estimate the future based on past memories. There is one more type of time, which is the feeling of movement of the thoughts. These two types of time are non-divisive, and feeling of this is also water element. So Kalsarthi and Kalbhava are closely related. They are nothing but two sides of the same non-divisive water elements. Then comes jñāti. It means healing power. All healers heal through feeling or through water element. Before understanding the healing, let's first understand its opposite, which is illness. And illness comes from holding on to something or rigidity. In other words, illness comes from earth element. Water element heals it by moving it because nature of the mind is to flow and not hold on to any form or belief. That's how water element heals. It heals by moving the blockages in the body. That's why it's called jñāti. And here is the complete translation. We'll read the Sanskrit Sutra once again of water element. It's called artha-dātā turaṅgarūpa indriya-taraṅga-bhā vṛtti bhūcaram kālasarathi kālabhāva jñāti sa jal-tattvam. It means giver of the meaning, whose form is waves, is the perception of the senses, deformation of the mind, chariot of time, perception of time, and healing power is the water element. Thank you for listening. See you in next video.